Super League basketball is levelling up British youths. This isn't just a league, it's a movement you can feel and see in the stands. From the first tip to the final buzzer, the story is written. Every drive, every shot, and every moment. Rivalries run deeper, games hit harder. One pass, one dunk, everything can shift. Legacies aren't given here, they're earned. New stories are ready, and new champions are coming. Season 2 is here. Stand tall for British basketball.
Good evening and welcome into the National Basketball Performance Centre here in Manchester. It's playoff semi-final time in the Super League and we've got a north-west rivalry tonight as Manchester Basketball host the Cheshire Phoenix in tonight's first leg. The second leg taking place on Sunday in Cheshire, and the winner across both games will book their ticket to the playoff final at the O2 Arena later this month. Manchester coming off an 8-point win on aggregate in the quarterfinals against Bristol, and Cheshire with a 37-point win overall in Surrey last weekend. Caroline Bullock here alongside former BBL sharpshooter Jason Swain as we get ready to tip off. So Jason, the 5th time these two teams have met this season across the league and the trophy. A place in the final on the line, a Northwest derby. How excited are you for today's matchup?
So excited. It's the semi-final of the Super League once again, and you can throw every score between these teams out of the window because everything is about home court advantage. Can Manchester take care of home court and get to Cheshire with a chance? But I've got a feeling both teams will take one. It's just whatever the aggregate score is going to be, Kaz.
So if we take a look at the fixtures, it is the semi-finals taking place this weekend. And we got things started yesterday with Leicester and London. London up 89-70 as they head into Sunday's second leg. After a 17-point game from Aaron Rye, the Riders did cut it to 4 in that third quarter, but London closed down, and they'll go again on Sunday at the Copper Box at 4 o'clock as Manchester head to Cheshire at 5:30. All those games live on DAZN. So earlier today, Jason caught with both teams' head coaches, Cheshire's Ben Thomas and Manchester's Matthew Otten, to get their thoughts on today's game.
So Ben, you're once again deep into the playoffs with Cheshire Phoenix, and you face Manchester tonight, a very, very tough competition.
Yeah, it's obviously our third semi-final of this season as well. We haven't managed to get past this stage yet, but you know, this is our target. Our goal is to be playing next weekend. But we can't look past Manchester. Like you say, it's going to be a real tough team. Obviously, lots of individual talent. But it's sort of like a clash of styles as well, so it's whoever imposes that themselves best onto the game is going to walk away with the 2 wins.
Well, speaking about imposing himself, Pat Robinson, potential MVP candidate, has really upped his game, but it's been a team effort as it always is. Would you say that?
Yeah, I think obviously Pat's flourished within the system. Obviously having shooters around him, you know, he's on the floor always with 4 shooters. He's able to attack mismatches, whether that's him attacking bigs, whether it's him attacking smaller guards. You know, it's just a system that has really flourished. He's accepted a role and you know, starred in that role, and you know, whatever, you know, if it comes to him getting that MVP, he's definitely deserving of it.
So, Coach Otten, your players, you mentioned earlier, have really been in some tough situations this year and shown their mettle tonight. An even tougher one against Cheshire in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's a tough game for us. Cheshire played phenomenal basketball this season. You know, they're in this position for a reason. I think obviously it's the fastest paced team in the league, and you know, you only want to disrupt that. You're not going to stop their pace. You know, the second the ball goes to the net, we got to be sharp and we got to be ready to defend, because you know, snap of the finger, they're down the court scoring the ball. That's kind of how they've been playing this season.
Well, I spoke to Coach Thomas about potential MVP Pat Robinson. You also have 2 guys, Max Jones and Jordan Johnson, who made the all first 5 in this league this season. But it has been an overall team effort. That's probably what you're going to be looking for in these next 2 games.
Yeah, you know, those three guys getting those awards, you know, it's mainly because of what they're doing within their team. They impact winning on a high level, but you know, both our teams making it to the semifinals is because of team effort. So this is going to come down to, you know, not one or two guys, but you know, 12 guys on the roster with energy, and you know, being able to go deep in our bench and take advantage of longevity for 4 quarters.
And someone that's going to be key for Manchester today, Jordan Johnson, got his first start against Bristol last weekend, dropped 19 points, all in the second half, to help Manchester to the win. He was named to the Moulton All-League Team of the Year this week, and he comes up big time and time again for Manchester.
Well, the fact that he made his first start last week says it all. To be in the top 5 in this league, coming off the bench, is an outstanding achievement, but finished 4th in the league in assists with 5.1 assists. So not only can he get it going and carry the team and score, he can really spread the wealth and really help his teammates. Against Cheshire in the last 4 games, he's only averaged, though, 10.5 points per game. He's had a 2-point game, and he's also had a 21-point game against this team. So anything could happen tonight for Jordan Johnson, but as we see against Bristol, he carried them down the stretch, and he's been sensational this season.
And for Cheshire, Patrick Robinson, second in the Super League in points per game with 20, first in field goal percentage, had a 20.5 rebound game against Surrey on Sunday. He was also named to the Moulton All-League Team of the Year. Coming off the bench for Cheshire this season, he has been crucial to their success.
So if you know Patrick Robinson and you know his past, he's definitely an MVP talk player this season, but Charleston graduate in 2023, wherever he has played, they have won. He was the MVP of Ireland last week, MVP in the finals, top scorer, you name it. But Pat Robinson, he is so good. He's top 10 in 5 different categories this season in the SLB, second in scoring, and any great player, as you can see, lives at the free throw line. He's number 1 in the league. He's shot 150 and made 150 from the charity stripe, so he will put immense pressure on your defense.
And for 2 players to make the All-League team coming off the bench, that's absolutely incredible. Yeah. As we take a look at the starting 5s for both teams, starting with the Cheshire Phoenix, it will be Michael Diggins, Skylar White, LaQuincy Rideau, Tobias Cameron and Jackson Brenchley. And we see there Patrick Robinson off the bench for the Phoenix.
Crazy. Yeah, oh, it's not crazy. He works, and you know, Coach Thomas, he's always involved in the playoffs at this point. He knows what he's doing, that's for sure. But what a luxury it is to bring Patrick Robinson off the bench, and it's not if you start, it's if you finish.
And for Manchester basketball, starting today, it will be Patrick Smith Jr., Max Jones, Zach Irvin, DJ Mitchell and Tim Adatu-Cassie. Jordan Johnson there off the bench, and head coach Matthew Otten. And some changes for both teams and both coaches there from their lineups last time out.
Yeah, but the one I'm looking at tonight is Donovan Mitchell. He had a play in the last game where he really showed that his anger is just coming out now. It's taken him 2 or 3 games, but that's all it's taken him. We know in the past he's been a phenomenal scorer, and it looks like he's going to get back into that groove tonight.
So teams coming out on court. Manchester playing in black and Cheshire in orange. Cheshire led by head coach Ben Thomas and Manchester led by Matthew Otten. And Manchester, their last home game of the season. The first leg of the semi-finals. The second leg will be in Cheshire on Sunday evening. And the crowd are certainly ready for this one here in Manchester.
Yeah, crowd filing in nicely. I mean, we said it was a little bit bare half an hour ago, but it's anything but that. Cheshire fans always well followed at home and on the road. They'll be in the building, they'll be loud and proud, but this Manchester arena is starting to really fill up.
So for the tip, it will be Mitchell for Manchester and Diggins for the Phoenix.
Next weekend, next Sunday. Back in the city. And it's
So ball's up and we're underway, and first possession goes to Cheshire. As Cameron thought about it, has Jones on him. Cameron working his way inside, and 2 free throws to come. There's a foul called on Max Jones for Manchester.
Well, they've definitely done their scout, and all Cheshire teams have done that in the past. They've scouted well, and they've come in prepared. That time, Cameron really going at Max Jones and trying to draw the foul, and he succeeds.
Tobias Cameron hits the first, been averaging just over 10 points a game for Cheshire this season, and recently signed to play back in New Zealand in the NBL with the Southland Sharks, as he goes 2 of 2 from the line. Gives Cheshire an early lead, and as a reminder, it will be an aggregate score across both games. The winner across both games will move on to the playoff final at the O2 Arena. As Jones goes inside, blocked from behind by White, and again, Skylar White having a block party early on. As Brenchley pulls up from deep, doesn't get it to fall.
Well, the shot is off by Brenchley, but Skylar White asserted himself on the defensive end, says none shall pass. The first block on Max Jones, he got it right back and thought he had an easy one. Skylar White said, not on my watch. Really good play, twice in a row by Skylar.
As foul is called on Diggins at the other end. So Manchester ball looking to get on the scoreboard here early on. Irvin. Mitchell. Mitchell fading away on the baseline, hits.
And that will do him the world of good, because his mind was made up. He had no option but to shoot the ball as Brenchley goes right back and Manchester come out and running.
Smith Jr. over to Jones. Jones. Great pass to Adatu Cassie, ready and waiting under the basket.
Poised by Max Jones to take his time and pick the right pass. Adatu Cassie says, I'll do the rest. Turnover by Cheshire.
And Jones will take it back down the floor. And Max Jones averaging just over 3 assists a game, along with his 17.4 points. Leads Manchester in scoring this season as he pulls up and splashes in the long 2.
Really good decision by Mitchell to set the screen. You put the 2 most emphatic scorers in the action, so you cannot switch, you cannot double. You have to just fight through, and it was at your peril as Max Jones pulls up from the elbow. Good start by the home team. They lead 6-2.
So ball's out of bounds, and DJ Mitchell just tipping it out there on defense, just stopping that run from Cheshire. Rideau gets the ball in. Cameron double teamed, works through it and gets the basket. Tobias Cameron out with intent early on.
And the second foul is called on Max Jones. Oh no, it's called on Irvin. So they were lucky there. I thought it was going to be on Jones, which would have been an absolute blow. But Tobias Cameron fighting through the contact and muscles that one in. Just like Daddy showed him, huh?
And completes the 3-point play. Cameron up to 5 points, has all of Cheshire's 5 points so far, and it's a 1-point lead for Manchester. Jones pulls up from deep, nets it!
Max Jones wasting no time. That's his first 3-point shot of the game. I'm sure there'll be more to come.
Cameron out to Rideau. Rideau a deep 3. Not that time, but it's chased out by Cameron. And Tobias Cameron hustling early on here. Rideau. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Rideau hangs in the air, gets it to go.
Smart play by LaQuincy Rideau. He knew Max Jones didn't want a foul and really played some bully ball down low.
Long pass down the court to Cameron. Will take it. Some good defense there from Mitchell, just standing his ground, forces the turnover, then finds Smith Jr. in the corner. Shot bounces in and out. Brenchley hands off to Rideau, gets it back. Cameron to the basket, and Tobias Cameron on fire early on.
Wow, if you didn't know, that's Pero Cameron's son that played for Cheshire back when they were the Jets. He's taught him some moves in the post. Tobias Cameron coming out well and coming out early.
Corner three goes for Zach Irvin. Manchester with a 3-point lead. Cameron and a travel call, so Manchester will have the ball back.
Well, Coach Matthew Hatton might be thinking we may get a switch because the pressure is on from Tobias Cameron. Every time he's got the ball, well, fortunately, he's going out now for Manchester. He's looked to attack Max Jones, and he's looked to back him down and get him in foul trouble. We do not want anyone going to 2 fouls early if he regards for any of these teams.
So Cameron goes to bench with 7 points, and Matt Zona checks in for the Phoenix. Jones swings it inside to Irvin, who finishes off the glass.
Feathery touch with the left by Zach Irvin. An even better pass by Killer Jones.
And that's been such a good connection that we've seen between them throughout this season.
Sure has, but who hasn't Zach Irvin played well with? Everyone that plays on this team seems to gel with the captain, and there's no... Oh, what a pass, what a score. There's no coincidence that he's a winner, Zach Irvin.
3-point game, Smith Jr. Mitchell, pass is deflected but falls into the hands of Mitchell. Shot doesn't go, and Rideau down the floor. Rideau will take it all the way. It draws the foul from Mitchell. So that'll be the third team foul on Manchester.
Mitchell's going to argue at the other end. There was foul on Zach Irvin cutting, but there'll be lots of contact within the game, and there'll be lots of emotion from both of these benches. I think that both coaches have come in and tried to really play it down and act cool, and I think the reason being is they don't want to get too emotional within this one because there's so much at stake here.
So Quincy Rideau at the foul line. He was named to the Moulton All-Defensive Team of the Year this week. Has had such an impact both offensively and defensively for Cheshire.
Well, you know, in college he's with AAC Defensive Player of the Year in 2019. So whichever team he's been on, defense has been his bread and butter. He can creep up on you and steal the basketball at any point, and defensively he's always just a downright pest.
He's second in the league in steals per game this season, as he brings it back to a 1-point game. Jordan Johnson out on the floor for Manchester for the first time, along with Matt Nicholson. Johnson into Nicholson, and Nicholson fouled on the shot.
Well, talking about getting better as the season goes on, there's two guys that are often involved in ball screen action. Jordan Johnson sometimes zips it below the knee, and he has gradually found out that Matt Nicholson likes that soft pass inside, and whenever he can catch there, he's hard to deal with.
Kamira Lindo subs in for Cheshire, as Nicholson at the line for 2. Nicholson 5th in the league in rebounds with 6.7 as he gets the first.
I mean, we go into these playoffs and we talk about MVP of the regular season. We have 3 guys out here tonight. Max Jones, Jordan Johnson, and obviously Pat Robinson on the other team that all could get that honour.
Yeah, there's been some absolutely fantastic performances this season. And it's great to see it being recognised in the end-of-season awards.
Yeah, it sure is. I mean, London Lions have dominated as we go, but their players normally spread the minutes out, so there's not really been a massive standout player on that team. They've all been exceptionally good.
Ozona can't get it to go. Johnson, ball's loose, manages to keep it alive, and Jones is there. Jones on the baseline, out to Mitchell. Mitchell takes it, gets the roll.
He is the ultimate insurance policy. With 5 seconds on the clock, that ball landed in his hands. Nothing doing, just found a way to score.
Policelli doesn't get it to drop.
This is where DJ Mitchell is effective. He can handle the ball on the break, and he can pull up and shoot the three.
Frankie Policelli over to Zona. Lindo around to Zona. Zona working against Nicholson, doesn't get it to fall. It's a 5-point Manchester lead. Johnson, ball's loose. And Policelli all the way, but can't get it to go. Johnson, what a pass over to Jones. As Jones is doubled. Policelli gets a hand on it, and we've got a foul called on the floor.
Well, that was a crazy sequence of events because it looked like Cheshire Phoenix, Policelli was going to have an open dunk. Tim Adedukasi erased that on the glass, and as they went the other way, could have easily been a turnover, and then it was from Max Jones. So thank gosh we get to calm down a little bit. Cal Carey into the ball game.
So an 18-13 lead for Manchester here. Just over 3 minutes to play in the first quarter. Robinson. We spoke about him pre-game, but Patrick Robinson has such an impact. As it doesn't drop that time, but Carey hands over to Johnson. Johnson steps back, three's up. Too much on it. And last touch, Manchester.
You don't mind the shot from Jordan Johnson because he seeks that rhythm out. He wants to get going. They haven't played for a full week, so he's trying to get into the game. So you don't mind the early pull-up.
And substitution for Manchester as Matt Nicholson heads to the bench and Patrick Smith Jr. back in. Balls into Lindo. Cameron steps through to the basket. Ball's off Manchester, so Cheshire will go again from the end line.
That was really well played by PJ Smith. He looked like he was outmanned going down the middle and got back across. Good defense by PJ.
Cameron. Policelli. White has Irving on him. White spins, White fading away. Tough move from Skylar White.
That was a tough move. He used about 10 seconds of that shot clock, and Zach Irving had him covered, so he thought.
3-point Manchester lead. Johnson. Irving under the basket. I think White got a hand on that one as Cameron again down the floor. And Tobias Cameron up to 9 points in the first quarter.
Well, a one-man wrecking crew, Tobias Cameron, but on the defensive end, Skylar White, if he did get a piece of that, already has 3 blocks, and it's ignited that fast break basketball for the Cheshire Phoenix, and they have come back well. These games are great, Kaz.
It is, isn't it? Every time these teams have matched up, it's been fantastic. Manchester winning the league series 3-1, had a 3-point win back in September, then won by 6 in November. And then obviously the Max Jones 3-pointer on the buzzer in February, 99-98, gave them 3 wins. And then that loss to Cheshire in December, 116-90. So a heavy loss on that side, but their wins have been close.
Yeah, but the two really interesting things about these two teams are their identity. And when I say that, they are stingy and they are spoilers. They do not like anyone else to succeed. Manchester have proven that, taking London all the way down to the wire.
And this is what it's all about, a place in the final at the O2 Arena in London on the 17th of May. You can get your tickets now. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic day, but this is what teams are playing for. The other semi-final between London and Leicester. Leg 1 yesterday, London taking the lead into leg 2 on Sunday, but teams with a playoff final spot on the line. Yeah,
and it looks like London have 1 foot already in that final. They've really played well against Leicester in that first leg. Only a miracle could save the Riders now.
Smith Jr. Not that time. Osaboyan into the game for the first time. Swats the ball, so Manchester get another chance. And Carey in the corner. No other result. That is Kyle Carey's game. Off the bench. Instant impact. Corner 3.
I tell you what, Kyle Carey's game also is. Sorry, Kaz, I got a little bit excited because I tell you what his game also is on the defensive end, and he stood right in front there and made sure that Manchester nearly had the ball. Good defensive possession followed.
But for Carey as well, Carey. He was probably at the furthest point of the court in that corner, races to get back on defense.
Yeah, and that's him summed up in one play.
Ball's into Policelli. Ball stolen away by Johnson, out to the corner. Carey, can he go back to back? Not that time. 3-point Manchester lead. Policelli. Hands off to Robinson. Ball's knocked away, picked up by White. And a big rebound from Mitchell. Oh, Carey in the corner. Spins down. But that is the look that Manchester want.
Wow, he's had 3 wide open ones, Kaz. I'm not sure that's the best thing to do as Jordan Johnson plays physical with Pat Robinson. But Kyle Carey's been left 3 times in a row. He's been successful on 1 attempt. But the standard of play and the way the basketball has been moved is really good. The decision-making of both teams, impeccable so far.
So a foul on the shot, and that was on Jordan Johnson, his first. Manchester in the bonus. It's Patrick Robinson at the foul line. And Robinson leads the league in fouls drawn this season with 4.8 a game. As you mentioned earlier, has made 150 free throws.
He's tough. And as I was talking about just before that time in the second quarter, was this, they're both stingy teams. They both don't like the other team winning. Always Ben Thomas's teams go far into the playoffs just by sheer will and battle. So both of these teams will not want to lose. It is a perfect matchup for everybody.
It's a battle out on the floor as Robinson brings it to a 1-point game. Final minute of the first quarter. Smith Jr. out to Johnson. Johnson lines it up. Doesn't go. As Lindo off and running, and Lindo fouled, and that'll be an unsportsmanlike foul called against Manchester. So that'll be 2 shots and possession.
It's one of those ones, Kaz, where Kyle Carey comes over, and because of the impact, and he's off the floor, Lindo, it looks like a bad one. I'm not sure how much intent, but Lindo is so fast. He was just like a blur and already in the air before Kyle Carey could react.
So Carey will go to the bench, and Max Jones checks in. Zamiri Lindo at the foul line, playing his first season for the Phoenix. Out of Queens College in New York, playing Division II.
New York, talk about those Knicks at the moment in the NBA playoffs. They're 2 up against Philly.
For the moment.
For the moment, and all Manchester fans will be rooting for Philadelphia. Coach Nick Nurse, ex-Manchester coaching right there.
And then we got Chris Finch with the Minnesota Timberwolves.
We have.
So
it's getting interesting in the NBA, that's for sure.
It certainly is. So, final 30 seconds of the first quarter. Robinson, balls into the corner as Policelli shots in and out. Great tip from Cameron, gets another chance, but Cheshire can't capitalise. It's taken away by Cameron. Over to White, 3's up, too much on it. And Manchester can hold for the last shot. Mitchell calling for it, drains it from outside, and DJ Mitchell, time running down. And at the end of the first quarter, it's a 23-21 lead for Manchester over the Phoenix.
Well, this is where the emotions can catch you, because Ben Thomas is absolutely fuming with his team. They had 2 possessions off rebounds, shot the ball too early, which allowed Jordan Johnson to come out and find a wide open dynamite shooter in DJ Mitchell. But Cheshire, their own worst enemy on that last 30 seconds.
So Manchester taking the lead heading into the second quarter, but Tobias Cameron has been huge for the Phoenix so far. 9 points, 2 rebounds, and a steal for Cameron. And leading the way for Manchester, DJ Mitchell with those 7 points. 3 rebounds as well for Mitchell. And we look at the 3-point shooting there, and this is unusual for Cheshire and something that certainly will not last going into the next quarters. But 0 of 5 from 3. We know there are the top 3-point shooting team in makes and assists in the league. Makes and attempts, sorry, not assists in the league.
Well, Skylar White's taken 2 or 3, I can recollect, and he is the second highest shooter in the Super League this season. You know, he's 3-point makes, he's made 93. And Frankie Policelli is also 3rd in the ranking. He's made 83 3-pointers this season, so it is a shock that they haven't connected on one yet.
But that's something that's going to come with the game. That's not something that's going to stick for Cheshire.
The bad news is those 2 players have been left wide open for 2 or 3 times each. So Manchester dodging a bullet, you would say.
And Cheshire winning the battle of the boards 15-11, and it's been 5 offensive rebounds for the Phoenix compared to Manchester's 2. So teams back out on the floor for the second quarter, and it will be Manchester possession.
Cheshire double points in the paint to Manchester, 12 points in the paint by the Phoenix, only 6 by Manchester, so that is probably all Tobias Cameron.
So a 2-point Manchester lead. Jones to Smith Jr. Smith Jr. passing to Adatu-Cassie, and Adatu-Cassie works his way to the basket.
Ooh, the nice footwork by Adatu-Cassie, tiptoeing his way to 2.
And Adatu-Cassie named to the All-British Team of the Year this week in the Super League Awards. Rideau. Ball's taken away by Osaboyan. Smith Jr. over to Adatu-Cassie. To Jones. Has Policelli on him. Jones dancing inside. Great ball movement from Manchester. Smith Jr. can't get it to go. But Manchester moving the ball really well here early on.
Yeah, they really are, and it's hard to keep up for us. So some of these guys must be all over the place out there. It's frantic, and it is the style of game that Manchester want. Cheshire normally can get it down in the half court, and Quincy Rideau can run things for them. But both teams really giving as much as they've got so far.
That last foul on Adatu-Cassie for Manchester as Skylar White can't get the 3 to fall. And Mitchell with his 4th rebound as he races down the court. Osaboyan. Osaboyan looking to hand off. Smith Jr. is there. Back to Osaboyan. And ball's kicked, so we'll stay with Manchester.
I love having Gabe Osaboyan at the top of the key, because she can throw in the ball and just play without having to be under a lot of pressure. You can move without the basketball, and whenever he has it, he can see daylight, and he can see passes down the middle, and he makes the right decisions. Watch him go turn it over now. I said that, Kaz, at the top. Yeah, here he is.
I've got faith in him. Smith Jr. Smith Jr. runs into traffic, and a travel called. So it will go Cheshire's way. And when you come into games like this, Jason, so you're playing on aggregate, you're playing 2 legs, do you just approach this as you would any other game, or is there a little bit of a different mentality that goes into it?
The only thing I think is hard to get around is that we are at the end of the first quarter when we reach half-time. There's 80 minutes of basketball to be played. So towards the end of the game, it's all about that kind of management as Skylar White heads to the line. but you just have to keep playing, and that for me only comes into play at the end of probably this game, which will be half-time. So in where you would normally try rush and try get the aggregate, try get the score down, you may try sustain what you're doing and go back home with an 8-point loss. So you know, that comes into play then. But I'm sure both teams just want to win both games.
Yeah,
that would be easier, right?
So Skylar White at the foul line, 23 points against Surrey in the first leg of the quarterfinals. Made 6 threes in that game. In his 3rd season for Cheshire. Just a huge fan favourite out there, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, and in his 3rd season for Cheshire, he just keeps getting better, and he can spread the floor and he can back you down a little bit, gives you a little bit of everything.
Gets a bit of an RJ Barrett bounce on that shot as Mitchell, blocked by Policelli.
Not just blocked, that was spiked by Policelli. He raised everything.
Rideau. Ball's knocked away by Ossaboyan, will stay with Cheshire.
Ossaboyan thinking they could review everything, calling for that TV replay.
Rideau. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Rideau pulls up and in and out and back in. What a shot from Rideau.
And there is your first 3-point shot, and absolutely not the look they wanted, but it goes down.
We're tied at 25 all. Jones looks to answer. Doesn't get it to fall. Looks like Jones might have caught an ankle as he came down.
Yeah, well, Quincy Rideau went under the shooter there, and Max Jones stood on his foot. Something that they've tidied up over the years, and we just hope that Max Jones is okay. He's a young player, he'll probably walk that off. I think if that's me, Kaz, I'm done for 4 or 5 months.
So Michael Diggins back out on court for Cheshire. Jackson Brownsley also in for the Phoenix as Rideau has it, and Cheshire looking to take the lead. As ball's knocked away, Johnson comes up with it. Johnson, such a quick move to the basket, doesn't get the roll. And Diggins out to Brenchley, lines it up. It's off the rim, and another chance here for the Phoenix as White steps into the 3. Nothing but net. And the Phoenix take a 3-point lead.
And that is the danger of leaving those guys open, because you cannot leave Skylar White for too much longer. Brenchley misses the first one, and they come up with an easier look for Skylar White. But let's talk about Jordan Johnson's defense in the post. That's 2 steals in a row when he's been on D.
And we can see White there just drains it, and that for Skylar White is a made 3 in 93 of his last 98. Oh no, it's a playoff game, so he's made a 3 in the last 92 of his last 97 league games. Yeah. So we'll throw in this playoff game.
We're going to talk about it,
nevertheless. Huge. He's just such a sharp shooter, and he's so consistent out there at the 3-point line.
Well, the thing that happens is when there's an offensive rebound, everyone is trying to relocate their players. It's the worst time to give an open look from the perimeter up, and Skylar White, who's missed a few, really wanted a wide open one, and there he had it.
And 6 made 3s for Skylar White in that first leg against Surrey. So a 3-point lead for Cheshire, 28-25. Just under 7 minutes to play in the first half. And we got some great support out in the crowd from both sets of fans. We've got Cheshire fans travelling. It's not too long a trip, is it?
You know, Cheshire is one of the best supported teams ever, I would say. I managed to play there first season. Really loved it. And those fans are absolutely outstanding.
Jones takes it to the basket. Puts it down to a 1-point game. Diggins looks to get the ball in.
Only just gets it in time.
And Rideau will set things up for the Phoenix. Has Irving on him. Brenchley. Diggins against Jones. Diggins stops, gets the bounce.
He's too good, and if you're on a strong side defense like Jordan Johnson is, pardon the pun, but you have to dig in on Diggins, because when he puts the ball down, you have to go down there and give a little bit of help. He's very good in the block.
Jeez, I feel like you've been waiting for that one.
Oh, that was off the cuff, Kaz. Give me some credit.
Brenchley over to Diggins. Diggins stops, puts it in the basket.
Wow, and he's a human pogo stick in the lane. He can just get up and get above the rim. Saw him in the pre-game, dunking the basketball, looking down in the cylinder. He can get up.
5-point Phoenix lead. Mitchell blocked by Diggins. Ball's over to Johnson, 3 seconds. Mitchell, 2 seconds, time running down, has to put something up. It's short, but gets his own rebound and puts it in.
Defense.
Cameron had the hot hand in the first quarter. Not that time. Jones. And a foul against Brenchley. That'll be the first team foul against the Phoenix. First foul against Brenchley.
Well, Max Jones giving Brenchley a little fit there as he kind of just went at him one way and the other way. All Brenchley could do was foul. Max Jones a tough cover, but luckily for Cheshire he's going to take a seat. But back in is the speediness of PJ Smith.
And Demiri Lindo checking in for Cheshire alongside Matt Zona. Ball's into Johnson. Just under 5 minutes to play in the first half. Johnson. Out to the corner. Irving. Shots off. Rideau. Out to Lindo. A deep three. And it's tipped back to Johnson. Manchester a chance to tie as Irving has the ball knocked away by Rideau, and that is exactly what you were talking about earlier, Jason. Lindo hands off under the basket. It'll be Cheshire possession, but LaQuincy Rideau just comes out of nowhere, pokes that ball away, takes it.
And it was just gone in the blink of an eye. I mean, Zach Irving thought he had a layup, and as soon as he put it down, LaQuincy Rideau said, give me that, and the speed of Lindo coming the other way. Yeah, Matt Nicholson all over him like a cheap suit. He just draped all over him there.
So that's foul number 2 on Matt Nicholson. Third team foul for Manchester. As Cheshire will go again from the end line.
Cheshire are just a tough team, Kaz. They're just one of those teams you cannot keep down.
Lindo hangs in the air, gets the roll. That's a tough shot from Lindo.
Wow, Lindo off the window.
5-point Cheshire lead. And an offensive foul, and that's going to be the third on Nicholson. So Nicholson will have to head to the bench for Manchester. We'll have Duke Shelton come in.
Yeah, Matt Nicholson frustrated, and good refereeing over there by referee Unsworth. He knows that these guys are emotional. He just gives him a pat on the back and says, let's go. I'm no referee, but I love how the game management is done by Unsworth. He's been a great ref for a long time now in this league.
Brenchley takes it all the way, finds a path, and Manchester.
Well, the pressure this Cheshire team puts on you is tough to deal with.
7-point Cheshire lead, biggest lead of the game so far. A shot bounces off the back iron, and that'll be a foul called against Manchester.
There are some quick guards in this league, but when that ball is loose, Lindo is all over the basketball court. He is an athlete.
So Mitchell will pick up his second foul. That will put Manchester in the bonus. So Lindo will go to the line for 2 shots.
Yeah, I think because of the collision on Lindo players would like something more, but it was just two guys going for the basketball. One just slightly quicker than the other.
So Damiri Lindo at the foul line for two. 7-point lead for Cheshire. And he can extend it here. Lindo shooting 90.5% so far from the stripe this season. With one more to come.
This is a tough point for Manchester here, because the last thing you want to do is go in at half-time in this game, potentially 15 down. No, this could be stretched out in this next 4 minutes by Cheshire. If you're Manchester, just hang on in there right now, because Cheshire are rolling.
So Lindo goes 2 of 2. It's a 9-point lead. We can see that it's been a 17-6 run for Cheshire this quarter after Manchester took the first 23-21. So Manchester ball as they look to cut into this Cheshire lead. Smith Jr. Adatu Cassie. Adatu Cassie underneath the basket.
Steamrolls the defense. Adatu Cassie. Take that, Cheshire, as Rideau comes right back and meets fire with fire.
Leads back to 9 for Cheshire. Just over 3 minutes in the first half. Johnson. Johnson takes it high off the glass and in.
Jordan Johnson spun that one in. Not this time, Skylar White.
And Lindo answers and banks it in at the other end.
Well, if you're looking for a whistle, find your own, because nothing being called here. Jordan Johnson hits the deck. Play on.
Johnson looks to go again, hands off to Shelton under the basket. And Duke Shelton, a player that just had such a breakout game in the ENBL semi-final, has really found his feet here in Manchester as Skylar White increases the Cheshire lead.
Yeah, that time Duke Shelton, I beg your pardon, fell asleep. Skylar White made him pay.
Johnson thought about it, swings it to Mitchell, threes up, off the rim. And Phoenix up 12. Brenchley finds a path to the basket. Oh, shot bounces out.
That was probably the easiest one they've had.
Mitchell. Shots off on Policelli. Has the ball at the halfway line. A double dribble is called. You can see Policelli there trying to box out to get his teammates to be able to touch the ball rather than him.
Well, if you're a fan and you're not interested in who wins this basketball game, it is the perfect game because it has everything. It's a 10-point game for the visitors on the road. Manchester look like they're going to try come back here, but it just has turnovers, it has blocks, it has...
fast.
Yeah, expect the unexpected here today, folks.
So Zach Irvin checks back in for Manchester. Smith Jr. Smith Jr. finds a path to the basket, he'll lay it in. And it's down to a single-digit game. Robinson into Cameron. Rideau calling for it outside the three-point line. But Johnson grabs the rebound. And that's Johnson against Policelli.
Jordan Johnson has that basketball on a string. Timeout is called and we can have a breather. It was Manchester that came out first, Kaz, and was playing some really good basketball. But it has been Cheshire with the pressure to come back and make this one 45-37 in their favour.
A 24-14 run for Cheshire. And you look at the scoreboard, in fact, for both teams, really spreading the scoring around. But leading the way for the Phoenix, you've got Skylar White, Tobias Cameron, and LaQuincy Rideau all on 9 points each.
Yeah, and DJ Mitchell on the other end with 9 points. There's so much basketball left. I think both coaches will be quite happy with how intense their team has come. and how focused and driven they both are. So a few shots here and there is the only difference.
And the threes starting to fall for Cheshire in this quarter, so 3 made threes here in the second. And for Manchester, they hit the 3 in the first quarter, haven't got it to drop in the second, so that's flipped a little bit.
Yeah, it sure has.
So teams coming back out on the court, 45-37, Cheshire leading Manchester. 1:24 to play in the first half. Or as you said, Jason, coming up to like the end of the first quarter, as it's an 80-minute game over the 2 legs.
There's what Manchester have changed in this second quarter is that they have points in the paint on their favour right now. The 20 points in the paint. Cheshire still leads with 24 points in the paint, but Manchester have really come back and forced the issue to the basket.
So Manchester possession, Johnson. Johnson into Mitchell. Mitchell steps back off the rim. And you can see Cheshire just clogging the paint there, making it difficult for Manchester to get inside, so Mitchell stepping back.
If any team is going to force you out of its comfort zone, it's Cheshire. They put you in positions that you don't want to be in.
Cameron, oh, the little hook shot finishes, and Cameron into double figures now. Leads back up to 10 for Cheshire. Adatukasi drains it! And that's a much-needed basket there from Adatukasi. Rideau. And a whistle on the floor. I think it was off the ball.
Yeah, I like that call. And the reason I like it is Tobias Cameron forced the issue first, and then PJ Smith retaliated and threw him down. But the first contact was by Tobias Cameron. So referee Unsworth, you cannot kid a kidder. Right call at the right time. Love that.
So that'll be the first foul on Cameron. 23.4 seconds left in the first half. It'll be Manchester ball from the end line.
So right now you would expect a high ball screen with potentially DJ Mitchell and Max Jones, or DJ Mitchell and Jordan Johnson. Let's see how it evolves. Here it is, DJ Mitchell and Max Jones.
Shot clock's off, Jones has it. 10 seconds, Jones spinning his way to the basket, doesn't get it to fall. 4 seconds, Rideau, 2 seconds. Runs into traffic, Rideau at the buzzer. And that will do it for the end of the first half. So a 47-40 lead for Cheshire over Manchester. Tobias Cameron leading all scorers with 11 points. A little bit of a messy end there to the first half.
Yeah, it's getting chippy already. That's what we want. These guys do not like each other. That's been a tradition for years. We're talking 30 minutes down the M56 is all that separates these two basketball teams. There is bad blood here on this court tonight, and that makes it slightly more entertaining than usual. A big second half coming up.
Yeah, so a 26-17 run for for Cheshire that quarter. And Tobias Cameron leading all scorers with 11 points personal. We can see there the three-point shooting for Cheshire started to fall after a slow start in the first quarter, hitting 3 in the second. They're out-rebounding Manchester 26-18. And they've got 6 offensive rebounds with 7 second chance points. And Manchester shooting 41% from the field to Cheshire's 43.
Don't know if you can see it off screen, but the Manchester women's basketball team, which you know all about, Kaz, you're a connoisseur of that team.
Yeah, they've been an absolutely fantastic team to watch this season. So they're giving out the team awards at the moment. for the player of the year, the coach's player of the year, defensive player of the year. But they've just had a really great season of Manchester. Unfortunately, losing in the quarterfinals of the playoffs last week in Caledonia. But it's been a really exciting team to watch.
How about Irene moving to Tennessee?
Irene Obodo.
Big time program.
Going to be part of the Lady Vols. I mean, all the history that's been there. Candice Parker coming through Tennessee. It's just an absolutely fantastic program. And for me, seeing Irene Obodo step up to this level, step up to the Super League level, has been so exciting. And I just can't wait to see what she does at the next level.
Yeah, Tennessee, a huge program. I'm sat about 4 seats from someone with an Allen Houston jersey, the New York Knicks. He was from Tennessee too, played in college, and it is a big time program. So we wish her the best. A really, really lovely young lady who has played the game so well this season.
She really has, and playing for GB as well, representing the Eurobasket qualifier, has been absolutely fantastic. So 47-40, Cheshire leading at half-time. Second half coming up, so stay tuned to the Zone.
Super League basketball is leveling up British youths. This isn't just a league, it's a movement you can feel and see in the stands. From the first tip to the final buzzer, the story is written. Every drive, every shot, and every moment. Rivalries run deeper, games hit harder. One pass, one dunk, everything can shift. Legacies aren't given here, they're earned. New stories are ready, and new champions are coming. Season 2 is here. Stand tall for British basketball.
I'm nervous when it comes to games in general. Like, I never know the outcome of things. But just the potential of our team that we had. I was the young gun in the group. Like, I had like Miles Hesson, Orlan Jackman, Jamal Anderson. Like, they're all way older than me. So it's like I felt like I had a lot to. I just had a lot to prove, you know. And you know, I think the one gold, and I think we showed out really well. When the final shot dropped, you know, Miles hit that game winner. I went crazy. Like, I'm never really one to like celebrate. Like, I'm really just bland. I'm boring, monotone, whatever. I just remember getting out my seat, running up to Miles. I just gave him the fattest hug ever. I was just screaming. It was crazy. But even then, I still haven't like fathomed like what we just did, and things didn't really kick in until later on that night. It's like, I didn't take off my gold medal for like a week straight. I went to bed with my medal. I was showering my medal. I was like, I'm not letting this go. And I felt special. I felt really special. I was like, Ken just won a gold medal. About to play pro. It was like, life's going the right way for me, innit? So I was like, I love it. It's crazy. Like, I still couldn't believe it. It's like going from winning the medal and then going on to proceeding to like go on to do what you love, earning money. It's like, this is I won't say once in a lifetime opportunity. I feel like I just needed to be around my own culture. You know, I've been around Americans for 5 years, then around Germans for 3 years. I'm just like, I want to be around my people. I want to be around my friends and family. I want people to like, I want to show my friends, I want them to come support me, which I've always wanted to do. You know, just allow them to have the opportunity to see how far I've come, you know, and just put a little show for them, make sure they have a good time. And that's probably what was most important for me. Most people have never really seen me play on domestic soil. And, you know, everyone's only seeing highlights or whatever it is. And no one's really seen certain aspects of my game. For example, like I love defense. So I feel like being able to show people what I'm truly capable of it's exciting. It's exciting. I hope, you know, could put on a show for these lot and show people how much of a dog I am. I got a lot of people that look up to me. You know, even if it is outside of London, no matter where it is, you know, they're able to come watch a game down in Manchester. Like it's always a pleasure, it's always an honor. I've never really realized how much I inspire people. Like I've had people message me online, social media, you know, just saying how much they look up to me or whatever. So just having that in the back of my mind and knowing I'm capable of doing something like that, for me to be closer to home and allowing them to come, you know, make whatever comes to fruition was like, yeah, I love that. Just having, you know, young guys coming up, showcasing their talents, you know, friends, whoever, like guys I've hooped with in the past. I feel like it's a great opportunity for us, you know, to show everyone in and outside the league, like us Brits have talent, like we can work with these guys and just prove to them we have a spot here, you know.
Welcome to Utilita Arena for the first major final of the Super League basketball season. History waiting to be written.
The first final of the season, and it couldn't get much better than this. We are underway here in Birmingham. Nice pass down court. Mullins catches it. What a finish as well through the contact. Rob has to heave it here, can't get hold of the ball, does get it away and banks it in! Hatters in full flow right now. Kick to the corner, Harrison for three, got it and one! And the celebrations can begin.
Now we won the trophy.
The Sheffield Hatters are the Betty Cadona Trophy champions. The Lions era against the defending champions, the Newcastle Eagles. 40 minutes to decide who's the champion. Jack has long ahead of him. Phil finds Cole Long for the jab. Zadamu open for three and he knocks it down. Brown attacks the rim and jams it in. He's hit it! Cole Long for three! And the London Lions have the silverware in their hands. 2026 Super League Basketball Trophy champions, the London Lions. Basketball here at the AO Arena.
The 2026 Super League Cup Final is underway. Harrison drains the three. Gale to the basket. Out to Hottinger. Three is good for Ronnie Hottinger. Lewis spins to the basket. Great finish off the glass. Ciara finishes under the basket. Gale dancing around the outside, steps back. That will do it. The Sheffield Hatters are your 2026 fantastic final.
Speed from Phillip getting to the ring. To the spin move. What a finish from Gavos Savoy. Steps away. Johnson splashes. Another three. Jordan Johnson is on fire here in the final. There's McGusty and he's fouled as well. Jordan Johnson again. What a play from Tariq Phillip. McGusty does go on McGusty from the elbow, and it is London who've made it 2 from 2. They are the cup champions.
Super League basketball is leveling up British youths. This isn't just a league, it's a movement you can feel and see in the stands. From the first tip to the final buzzer, the story is written. Every drive, every shot, and every moment. Rivalries run deeper, games hit harder. One pass, one dunk, everything can shift. Legacies aren't given here, they're earned. New stories are ready, and new champions are coming. Season 2 is here. Stand tall for British basketball.
Welcome back into the National Basketball Performance Centre here in Manchester as we get ready for the second half between the Cheshire Phoenix and Manchester Basketball. Cheshire with a 47-40 lead as we head into the third quarter. And they've been led by 11 points from Tobias Cameron, 9 of them in the first quarter. And Manchester been led by DJ Mitchell with 9 points and 6 rebounds. Tim Adetukasi also adding 9 points for Manchester. But Jason, it's been a battle every time these two teams have met this season, and today is no different.
The only thing you know is it's going to be close and it's going to be well contested throughout. And the pre-game, we looked at 2 guys, Pat Robinson and Jordan Johnson. They're only on 2 points each. It's been the other guys that have really stepped up, and anything goes in these playoffs, and you just do not know what to expect. And Phoenix, 7 points up at half-time. They're in a very good position.
They are. It was a 26-17 run for the Phoenix in that second quarter. And this is the first leg of 2 games that the teams will play over this weekend. So the second game taking place on Sunday in Cheshire at 5:30. The winner across both games on aggregate will head to the O2 Arena for the playoff final later this month, and they will be playing either Leicester or London, who are the other semi-final matchup.
Yeah, tune in on Sunday, 5:30 in Cheshire. It's going to be an absolute great game. And also catch up that London and Leicester game. London winning 89-70 the other night, and that's where it all leads. Kaz, on your screen right now.
The road to the O2 Arena. You can get your tickets now. Always an absolutely fantastic day of basketball. The men's final and the women's final will be taking place.
Hats off to Leicester too. I mean, to come through that first round against Sheffield.
Oh, and that was a come-from-behind win as well.
Come-from-behind win. They've had their battles over the previous 2 months. And Coach Rob Paternostra just seems to get the most out of whatever he has.
I mean, Flynn Borden and Rafe having an absolutely fantastic second half of the season.
Yeah, I kind of always thought he was that good. If you look at the stats from in the the beginning of the season, Flynn Borden and Rafe was playing well in the minutes that he had. It's just that now he was given a bigger opportunity because guys left or guys got injured, and he's taken that on and he's played exceptionally well.
So, second half underway, and it's Cheshire ball to start us off. They have a 7-point lead. Rideau balls into Cameron. Has to kick it out. Rideau puts it up. The shot spins out. And both teams have been getting some good looks. Shots might not have fallen, but they're the looks that they want.
Yeah, but you can see the game plan of Cheshire was just the same in the first half. Tobias Cameron going down low against Max Jones and trying to get him another foul early.
Jones takes it inside. That's short. as Rideau
Oh, wow.
scoops it up. Oh, it pops out. Smith Jr. Mitchell thought about it. Drives instead, floats it up, it's short.
Someone find a bucket. That's 3 layups missed in a row. The easiest of chances. These players proving they are human.
Rideau will set things up for the Phoenix. Diggins. Time and space for Diggins. And takes it to a 10-point game. You cannot leave him that open.
Yeah, but you also cannot predict what's going to happen because the 3-pointer from Diggins goes down. Everyone else missing right at the rim.
Jones driving baseline. Ball's picked up by Rideau. Brenchley. Out to Cameron in the corner. Not that time. And Smith Jr. pushing the pace.
It's a good shot by Cameron. Why not? You're 10 up. Let's try extend the lead.
Adetukasi. Mitchell. Mitchell spins.
Oh, I like that.
What a shot from Mitchell.
Yeah, I like it because he's a guy that when you're struggling, he can just say, give me the basketballs. He picks up the charge at the other end. Pardon me, it was Max Jones, but I love DJ Mitchell being assertive at the other end. Give me the ball, I'll find a way to score. Well, Tobias Cameron is a danger on the basketball court. He absolutely flattened Max Jones there.
Cameron opened with his second foul. We'll see Patrick Robinson back into the game as LaQuincy Rideau heads to the bench. Rideau with 9 points, 3 rebounds and a couple of assists. 8-point Cheshire lead. Smith Jr. to Jones. Jones out to Adetukasi. Off the rim. Robinson. And oh, what a finish from Diggins! Throws it down.
Wow.
And a pass over to Robinson, and Diggins again jams it down, and Michael Diggins putting on a show here as he increases the lead for the Phoenix.
Wow, Kaz, that was outstanding. We are hopefully gonna get to see it twice. It was so nice. So we will rewind, and if you are Mike Diggins' agent, just reclip this last 2 minutes because there was a 3, then there was a score at the other end. Here's the putback slam. We go down, and I hope we're going to see the pirouette pass in midair that he had. There it is.
That was fantastic.
And then Robinson rewards him, and he has the courtesy to say, Manchester, take that. Diggins, fingerprints all over this one.
And that is 3 straight possessions with Michael Diggins. Takes it up to a 12-point lead for Cheshire. 7-2 run in the first, just less than 3 minutes here in the third quarter.
Yeah, Manchester having a terrific season, but they have their hands full here because the men in orange are not giving an inch. They are gritty, they are tough, and they are up for this challenge.
So Manchester looking to chip into this lead. Smith Jr. Smith Jr. looking to pass out. Ball's knocked away. Jones able to save it. 4 seconds on the shot clock. 3 seconds. Jones. And a foul on the floor. So Manchester will get a fresh 14. Just the second team foul on the Phoenix.
Tobias Cameron is doing everything out here. He's guarding Max Jones, potential MVP candidate, and he's holding his own. And at the offensive end, he's applying the pressure. Coach Ben Thomas knows his personnel and gives him a well-earned rest, but he will be back soon. But more bad news bears for Manchester. Lindo is back in the game. Oh my goodness.
Tamir Lindo in for Cheshire and Jordan Johnson in for Manchester. Johnson Mitchell, 3 seconds. Ball's knocked away by Robinson and throws it up over to Diggins, and Diggins jams it down. Michael Diggins. That is 9 straight points for Diggins. As Irvin, too strong off the glass. Robinson powering his way down the floor, draws the foul, and 2 free throws to come here for Cheshire. But Michael Diggins, 9 straight points. He's up to 15.
Well, that would have been the icing on the cake if Robinson would have got that one to go down. But it has been all Cheshire Phoenix, and Manchester basketball look absolutely shell-shocked in their own backyard. It's been a blur of orange going one way.
It has, and this is how Cheshire play. They are a fast-paced, high-scoring team, putting up 95.8 points a game so far this season. That's first in the Super League. They lead the league in made threes and three-point attempts and fast break points. They like to run and they like to put the ball in the basket.
This man on the free throw line has been sensational. Another product from Cheshire, from Ireland. So many players have come over from Ireland into either Chester Jets it was, and now the Cheshire Phoenix. Roll back the years, Ricardo Leonard, Billy Singleton, Corey Jackson, Jonathan Stone, Brian Lloyd. There are so many really, really top players. Sean Bell that have come over from Ireland and played here in Cheshire.
Leads up to 16 for the Phoenix. Jones off the back iron. As Lindo lays it in for 2.
Robinson is too hot to handle. He's putting his head down at every moment. And an 18-point lead for Cheshire on the road. Dreamland right now. Can Manchester fight back?
A 13-2 run this quarter as Manchester look to get some points on the scoreboard, but the ball's taken away by Robinson. He'll wait for the team to catch up. Lindo with space, drills it. And it's all Cheshire here in the third quarter.
That is a dagger by Lindo. 21-point lead. Max Jones will try to respond. And Cheshire are fired up. Kaz, I don't think we predicted this early in the third quarter. Manchester are stunned.
So a couple of substitutions here as Kyle Carey checks in and Matt Zona comes in for Cheshire. Let's see if that mixes anything up a little bit.
The one thing you cannot do if you're Manchester, and it's just because Cheshire are this good, is you cannot play hero ball. You remember that this is only the second quarter as Max Jones makes the 3. But overall, there is 80 minutes of basketball to be played. This is what I said earlier. Do not rush, do not panic. Keep playing basketball.
Zona nets a 3 at the other end, and Manchester being caught sleeping a few times there with that open three-point shot.
Wow, and you could have left anyone, but Cheshire in the Zona as Zona makes the 3 ball.
Ball's knocked out of bounds. It'll be Phoenix basketball. And for Manchester, it's just a case of chipping into this, isn't it? Taking it possession by possession, but you need to get the stops and you need to get the scores. Yeah,
it is. It's no time to panic, but you must stick to what got you here. And that is tough defense and really, really good ball movement.
Lindo. Ball's knocked away by Carey. Cheshire will reset from the sideline. And those plays that we see it all the time from Kyle Carey and Gable Osaboyne, but those plays where you just knock the ball out of bounds, the other team has to reset, just sort of disrupts the flow.
It does, but they'll have to do a lot more than that. You can see the body language of Coach Matthew Watson there. I'm not sure he can do any more. His team have put themselves in this position. Now they just have to play well.
Ball goes out of bounds, last touch Cheshire, so Manchester will have it. Johnson. Against Robinson. Johnson. Out to Adatukasi. Adatukasi driving, lays it in. Basket's good, and the foul, and Tim Adatukasi will go to the line.
Well, that's a grown-ups move as he goes to the baseline and comes back with the left. And it does two things. It makes Manchester see a bucket go through, but also it stops the clock and gives them a little bit of a breather and a chance to recover psychologically as well as physically.
And if you're looking at this, do you try and cut it down to around that 10-point mark and then chip away into that 10-point line around the start of the
listen,
quarter?
there's nothing lost to go into Cheshire with possibly a 5 or 8 point loss, because it's retrievable. What you cannot do is get silly and play just this game.
Well, we saw exactly what Leicester did against London yesterday when they brought the game back down to just a 4-point game in the third quarter. As Adatukasi at the foul line for Manchester, averaging just under 10 points a game this season. And will take himself up to 12 points here today. 18-point game. Diggins. Zona. Great pass to Lindo, who finishes under the basket.
If you're a young player, watch Lindo's movement on that replay off the ball. He extended to the 3-point line, and as soon as his man overplayed, went back door.
Johnson swings it to Carey. Carey shots up, doesn't go, gets his own rebound though. And an unsportsmanlike foul goes against Cheshire, so 2 shots and possession for Manchester here.
Yeah, I think it's the correct call as well. Ben Thomas doesn't like it, he's going to argue on the bench. But definitely Matt Zona reached out, and it was no play on the ball, I would say.
Second foul on Zona, and it will put Jordan Johnson at the line for Manchester. Johnson 7 assists today and takes himself up to 3 points with that first free throw. And gets the second. And we've seen Jordan Johnson really just break out scoring, but also a fantastic facilitator for Manchester. Had a 13-assist game against Cheshire earlier this season. 6 seconds on the clock and a foul on the floor, so that'll take Cheshire to 5 team fouls, and Manchester will go back to the line. So Jordan Johnson with 2 more to come.
Well, as far as Manchester have played this quarter, this last minute has been their best spell, because they've got to the line. You can see Max Jones stood near the halfway line. He's just got his hand on his hips. He's just breathing, taking his time and taking it all in. And they have a chance to regroup here now to Manchester, and a chance to just get things back on track for more than 1 minute, for around 6 minutes. It was just all Cheshire one way.
As Johnson gets the second. Just over 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. Ball's tipped. Lindo not quite able to save it, as it's a step out of bounds, so Manchester have possession. And can they capitalise here?
Love the coaching of Matthew Watson, you know, because they are down. It's a key period in the series. And look who he's gone with. He's gone with the trusted Max Jones and Jordan Johnson. He's also gone with Duke Shelton, Kyle Carey, and Adatukasi to see it through. He's had the guts to leave DJ Mitchell on the bench. Leave old PJ Smith out there as well. See if it pays off.
As Robinson stops, leaves it short. Ball's tipped.
Right there's a good example. Cal Carey will give you that. He will stay in front, he will contest. And stopping Patrick Robinson is no easy task. This is what's needed right now. Dig in, keep fighting if you are Manchester basketball.
So we'll see a substitution as Skylar White and Jackson Brenchley come in for Cheshire, and DJ Mitchell out on the floor for Manchester. And it will be Kyle Carey at the foul line. Carey returning for Manchester basketball this season. Shot a career high in field goal percentage last year. Doesn't get the first to go.
This is where DJ Mitchell can come into his own. Needs to come up with some buckets out here for Manchester. It's a big responsibility, but that always goes with big-time players, and DJ Mitchell is one. Cal Carey going 0 for 2 at the line.
17-point game, Lindo. Ball's into White. Back to Lindo. Lindo, ball's loose, picked up by Shelton. Carey driving baseline. And Skylar White, another rejection. He's just everywhere defensively. Oh, what a basket! And a big bucket there for Cheshire. And Patrick Robinson doing what he does best. And that is foul number 3 on DJ Mitchell for Manchester.
Yeah, there are your chants. MVP from these fans. And they are chanting at Patrick Robinson. He has been all over the game, and do not be fooled. He's small, but he's also jacked. He's strong and can get to the bucket with the best of them. And the chants of MVP by the Cheshire fans ring out as he completes another and one.
And takes it back to a 20-point game. So Manchester with some work to do here late in the third quarter. Johnson. Johnson steps back, shots up and in! And Jordan Johnson now up to 7 points. 5 points here in the third quarter. White looks to answer, can't get it to go. Brenchley picks it up, and another chance for the Phoenix. As Rideau out to Policelli. Won't fall. As Johnson over to Shelton, and Shelton blocked by White. Brenchley, and gets the roll. Jackson Brenchley.
Well, we're back to run and gun basketball, and it suited Cheshire. Jackson Brenchley with the absolute insane finish.
And Johnson will go back to the free throw line.
Coach Ben Thomas wants more from his team. He demands such high standards. They are 20 points to the good here, and he is yelling and screaming on every single play.
So Jordan Johnson, first one pops out. Johnson in Kosovo last season set a team record for most assists in a game with 14. Was averaging 17.6 points, 6.3 assists.
But he's shown that he's frustrated. He's just missed 2 for 2 from the line, and it's very, very seldom you see Jordan Johnson exasperated.
As Policelli at the other end, count it, and the foul. And Cheshire are rolling here in the third quarter. And they have been so good at finishing at the basket, taking that contact, and then getting to the foul line.
Well, they've just been superb in all areas. And with 54 seconds remaining in the third, they are in a commanding position. But these are the times, if you are Manchester, that you look at the guy next to you, and are you up for the fight? It is a huge fight they have on their hands. Are they ready to take it on?
Policelli gets it to go. Cheshire up 23. Final minute of the third quarter. Adetukasi to Johnson. Johnson back into Adetukasi. Driving, doesn't go. Big rebound for Robinson. Diggins to Rideau. Rideau spins on the baseline. Brenchley's there. 6 seconds on the clock. Brenchley, spinning to the basket. Whistle on the play.
Well, Brenchley having nowhere to go.
And that is foul number 4 on DJ Mitchell for Manchester. So that's big for Manchester, for Mitchell to be playing on those 4 fouls with another quarter to go.
Yeah, almost impossible with the pressure that Cheshire put on you. But Jackson Brenchley, he's quietly put himself a nice game together. He's only on 4 points so far. Make this point number 5 as it rolls in. And last year, playing in the Georgian Super League, he's one of the top efficiency players in that league. He's been great this year.
He's been absolutely fantastic. Yeah, 10 points a game, just over 4 rebounds for Cheshire.
I think if you wear number 23, you have to play well as well. I'm not sure it should be allowed, you know. Michael Jordan, the legendary player wearing number 23. I don't know.
Is he your favourite 23? He can't not be, can he?
Well, I would... Listen, there's debates. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Bill Russell. I think... I don't know. There's so many great players, but Michael Jordan is absolutely legendary. I'm not making any news here, Kaz.
Yeah.
I'm just alluding.
You're not breaking news.
I'm alluding to the point that the number 23 should have been retired across the world, I would say.
So quick substitution for Manchester, as we'll see Kyle Kerry in and Duke Shelton goes to the bench. It will be Adatu Cassie at the foul line for Manchester.
Do you agree with the all-star 5 of the league, the Molten 5? Do you think it's a good call?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's...
Are there any players that may have edged their way in? If you were to have a 10, you may have thrown any more players?
Ooh.
I'll let you have a think.
I'm going to have to think about that one, but it's, I just think it's great to see the recognition of the awards this week, and I'm sure we'll go early into next week as we head towards the playoff finals. But Rideau, and will be after the buzzer. So at the end of the third quarter, a 77-54 lead to Cheshire over Manchester. A huge 30-point third quarter to Manchester's 13 points. And for a team that averaged just under 89 points a game for Manchester, at 54 here in the third quarter, what have Cheshire done so well to keep them under that scoring average?
Well, Manchester's game is all about rhythm, and it's always about playing at speed. Whether they score on the fast break or the secondary fast break, they're very good at it, but that is tough if you're taking the ball out of the hoop at the other end, and you're also being at times, spells, owned on the offensive glass. And that's what Cheshire have done. They've applied the pressure, and if they've not come up with the goods, they've rebounded by committee. So it's been exceptionally tough for Manchester to get in their rhythm. And
we know that Cheshire like to run. 19 fast break points for Cheshire today compared to Manchester's 3. That's a big swing. And 13 points from turnovers, so Cheshire able to get those stops and able to capitalise.
Yeah, 42 points in the paint from Cheshire.
They've been averaging 40 this season with a quarter to go.
So they're all almost at Manchester's total with points in the paint, and they've all been off run-backs or put-back dunks.
But how about that run from Michael Diggins in the third quarter?
Sensational.
9 straight points from Diggins. He's up to 15. And we can see there the three-point shooting percentage, 30% for Cheshire, 25 to Manchester, but 6 made threes for Cheshire to Manchester's 5. And the rebounding battle, and that is the difference there, 38 to 27. Cheshire getting those second chances and getting the ball and running.
Yeah, you go back to Michael Diggins, and I mean, even back in his college days, University of Illinois in Chicago, he had over 1,000 points in his college career. A 5-year college career, was absolutely a standout player within the Horizon League.
Fourth quarter underway, so Manchester with work to do to chip into this lead. It is a 2-game aggregate score, so teams will be playing in Cheshire on Sunday, and Manchester will be looking to cut into this as much as they can in this next 10 minutes. Smith Jr. 8 seconds on the shot clock, added to Cassie. And doesn't get it to go. Ball's picked up by Brenchley. And Robinson racing down the floor, scoops it up and in.
Wow. Globetrotter basketball from Robinson as he went down the middle. Too easy.
Johnson. Adatu Cassie, threes up and down.
Well, he's one guy that hasn't given it up.
Robinson looking for some space. And blocked from behind. As Johnson back down the floor. Jones thought about it, but Rideau is straight to him, not giving him an inch of space. So we Manchester ball from the sideline. Johnson will inbound. Jones. Jones under the basket, leaves it short. Ball's tipped to Diggins. And that's another rebound for Cheshire.
Yeah, Jones frustrated as Quincy Rideau goes there and one and scores. And nothing is going the way of Manchester basketball here. Max Jones trying to score at the other end and comes up short and running it right back. The bully on the block, LaQuincy Rideau, says take that and one. Cheshire are having fun and their fans will love this. There is animosity, Kaz, between both these clubs that goes way back when Cheshire were playing in the Northgate Arena and Manchester played in the 9X. They did not like each other, and that has carried on. Seasons going and going, and right here you can see how Cheshire Phoenix are enjoying this game right now.
They certainly are. Up 81-57 in the fourth quarter. Johnson. Johnson pulls up off the back of the rim. And Cheshire back down the floor looking to increase this lead. Policelli steps back, nails it!
Oh my gosh.
A huge shot from Policelli.
Ooh, as cool as the other side of the pillow. Policelli with the step back.
Mitchell into Shelton, and Shelton under the hoop, can't get it to go. Manchester struggling here in the fourth quarter as Policelli back to back. It's all Phoenix in the fourth quarter, the second half. Cheshire on a roll here, up 86-57.
And they are not happy with only the slender, huge lead that they have here. Policelli with the step back three says take that, then he relocates to the corner and he says I'm so nice, I'm gonna do it twice, 2 in a row for Policelli. Cheshire absolutely rolling.
39 points for the Phoenix in just over 12 minutes here in the second half to Manchester's 17. 86 points for the Phoenix. We saw how they scored the basketball against Surrey, especially in that first leg, with that big first leg win that they had. But they are a team that consistently, throughout the course of the season, they score so well.
Well, Manchester coming out of this timeout are absolutely stunned. They are walking and they are wounded. Can they hang on in there? If you were in that timeout, you had to just say, let's just try and get as many points back as we can.
7:53 to play.
Conversely, if you're in the other timeout and you are Cheshire, you must be saying, keep the pressure on. Stick a fork in these guys, because they might be nearly done.
So teams back out on court. It will be Manchester possession. And if you look how Cheshire have spread the scoring around as well, 4 players in double figures as Johnson has the ball. Shelton into Mitchell. It's knocked away by Rideau. And Rideau will find Policelli in the corner. That one doesn't go.
Wow, Policelli missed. Let's get that on tape because he's been on fire. That was the most open one he had from the corner. Good find by Rideau. Manchester dodged a bullet, but 29 points to the goods, Cheshire, as TJ Smith tries to stop the bleeding. Is this the time that Manchester gains some momentum?
Robinson. Diggins, not that time. Shelton takes it. Johnson. And ball's knocked away by Diggins. Brenchley, oh, behind the back, over to Robinson, high off the glass. Showtime basketball here from the Phoenix. Smith Jr. looks to answer and does.
Well, they've not given up just yet, but they need some stops at this end. They need at least 3 stops in a row. Easier said than done against this machine.
Robinson against Smith Jr. Time running down, 3 seconds, a deep 3 from Brenchley. Ball's tipped, Johnson over to Shelton, and Shelton will finish at the basket.
That was a nice catch by Duke Shelton. Jordan Johnson lobbed that basketball, and with his fingertips, Shelton saw it through.
So a timeout called as Cheshire leading 88-63 here in the 4th quarter. 6:14 to play. And what a run from the Phoenix in this second half.
It is, but however, Coach Ben Thomas will be very, very wary. You do not want to let any complacency creep in at this point.
Tim Adesukasi leading all scorers with 16 points so far. Michael Diggins and Tamiri Lindo on 15 each for Cheshire. Cheshire shooting 50% from the field to Manchester's 38, and a huge 42 rebounds to Manchester's 31.
Yeah, they've owned the glass. Gabe Osaboyan into the game for the first time in this half. He hasn't really played much tonight. We look at his EMBL heroics and we know what he can do at the defensive end. So will he make a difference?
That 4th quarter of the playoff game against Dinamo Zagreb in the EMBL it's got to be a game that goes down in history.
So Kaz, you were asked your favourite moment of the season.
There's just been so many.
There's so many?
There's really been so many. I mean, definitely that 4th quarter from Gabe Osaboyan.
I did go with that when I was asked, yeah, that's what I did go with.
Defensive masterclass.
Yeah, I think Dan Routledge last week went with Max Jones' shot against Cheshire.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's just been absolutely incredible moments all season, and I think, you know, Jordan Johnson's second half scoring explosions are certainly up there. As Policelli under the basket.
They just read the plays really well. I mean, LaQuincy Rideau there didn't get rattled, took his time, and made the inch-perfect pass to Policelli. And he goes up and nearly has the and one.
Cut you off, Jason. That is foul number 5 on DJ Mitchell. So Mitchell will be out of the game for Manchester, and that's a big loss for Manchester with still 6 minutes to play.
Yeah, I would say right now it's hard to know who's going to get it done because they are in a hole. So whoever is willing to fight the most. So tough night for DJ Mitchell. He's finished on 11 points. I did say that he would come out fighting, but well, he's huffed and puffed, but he's not blew the house down. So
11 points, 9 rebounds for Mitchell.
Yeah. He's not the only one that's had it tough tonight.
As Policelli gets a second, and he's up to 11. Johnson, Osaboyan. Pass is broken up. It's Policelli over to Rideau. Rideau picks it up and puts it in the basket.
Yeah, the bad news for Manchester is Cheshire do not look like they are slowing down.
And Smith Jr. at the other end fouled on the shot.
Yeah, Skylar White took one on the offhand by Smith. No intention by Smith, but Skylar White took one around the facial area, probably one in the eye, but he looks like he's going to be okay. Yeah, took one right in the chops by the looks of it.
So substitution is White will go to the bench. He'll get checked over. White with 9 points and 5 rebounds today as Smith Jr. goes to the line. Smith Jr. 8 points today. Been averaging 14.1 this season for Manchester.
Yeah, Skylar White looked like he took one in the chops there. You know, if you're a dentist and you're around the Cheshire area, please open on Saturday. You may well be visiting a dentist near you.
Smith Jr. gets both. Just over 5 minutes to play in the fourth. Robinson calling for a screen. Robinson round to Zona. Rideau, catch and shoot. Doesn't drop. Osterboyen with the rebound. Manchester looking to chip into this deficit. And Cheshire will pick up their 3rd team foul. So Manchester go again from the sideline.
Oh, Ben Thomas, I would say he's as competitive as his players because he's absolutely screaming at them on the side. They must be thinking, what more do we have to do? And speaking of what more they have to do, Tobias Cameron has done it all.
And he really set the tone early on, did Tobias Cameron, coming out with those 9 points in the first quarter.
Yeah, in that first half, he was the alpha male out here. He came out and really took it right down the guts of the defense.
So Cameron at the line for 2.
While we have a break in play, Dad Pero Cameron, you will be probably watching. Your son has had a good one here tonight, and congratulations on your career, New Zealand Tall Black.
Yeah.
Well played over here at Chester Jets.
And just like his dad, Tobias Cameron's represented New Zealand at the Asia Cup.
Sure has.
Qualifiers last year. Cameron up to 13 points now. Smith Jr. out to Adatukasi. Nets it! And Tim Adatukasi up to 19 points for Manchester. Leads all scorers today. Ball's knocked away by Adatukasi, doing a bit of everything for Manchester as he draws the foul.
Yeah,
offense and defense for Adatukasi.
Yeah, well, it's 24 points. If you can get this one back to 15, it would be still worth preparing for the next one because anything can happen within the game. If you are Manchester, keep chipping away, keep running scores back like that. The clock is stopped and there is just under 5 remaining, an eternity in basketball. So you are not trying to win this game here tonight. You are just trying to go in at half-time in possibly 10 to 15 points down. I guess that's why Coach Ben Thomas has been going crazy on every single play, because he knows the importance of not letting that happen.
Yeah, if you're the team with the lead, you just want to keep increasing that because you see how quickly things can change. You saw how quickly things changed in the Leicester-London game yesterday. As Adatukasi gets both. Phoenix up 22 in the fourth quarter. Robinson to Zona. Robinson. And a foul off the ball.
So right now, if you're Manchester, you have to believe that you can come back in the second game. You have to believe that, because that is what you are fighting for right now. You have to believe you can go to Cheshire and win by 10 or more, because that is why you are going to really knuckle down in this last 4 minutes and 20. Holding foul called on Ossaboyan.
And that'll be Ossaboyan's first foul, but
yeah, because
that puts Manchester in the bonus for the rest of the quarter. So Matt Zona at the foul line for Cheshire. Zona in his first season for Cheshire, out of Fordham University in New York. Spent the previous 4 years at Notre Dame. Four points today for Zona. Doesn't get the second. Adetukasi with the rebound. And a substitution as Michael Diggins and Jackson Brenchley come in for the Phoenix. And it'll be Manchester ball from the sideline. Ossaboyan. Smith Jr. pulls up, bounces off the rim. And Rideau racing down the court, puts in 2 more for the Phoenix.
And he hits the deck, but he gets the 2 to go. Rideau, that is 2 or 3 times he's come right back at the D.
Ossaboyan going inside, too strong.
Diggins handle the ball.
Brenchley. Cheshire can use the clock here. Brenchley with 6 seconds, pulls up. Johnson picks up his 4th rebound today. Johnson looking for a way to the hoop. It's off the front of the rim. And Cheshire just play with such pace as Cameron. Great fake under the basket. And Tobias Cameron now up to 15 points. And a timeout called. And teams will talk it over.
Well, I am stunned. I can't believe he's only on 15 points. He's dominated this ball game, and he must have just let others join the party at some point, because he came out like a house on fire. And there's his 15th point. But the thing Cheshire have done is they have played really, really tough defense without fouling. If you have gone to the bucket in your Manchester, they have somehow not made contact and stayed in front in legal guarding position. That is a skill in itself.
It certainly is. So Phoenix up to 99 points here in the 4th quarter. Manchester up to 72. And we've got 6 Cheshire players in double figures out there today. Manchester with 4 players in double figures. Tim Adetukasi leading the way with 21. As teams getting ready to come back out on court. But as you say, Jason, this will be half-time at the end of the 4th quarter. Teams will play again in Cheshire on Sunday at 5:30. And Manchester will want to try and find a way to come back into this.
They will, but they will need a huge upset to go into Cheshire and even this one out. It's a journey that I wouldn't fancy making.
Johnson into Smith Jr. So if you're Manchester, do you want to try and go quickly here as opposed to where Cheshire are going to try and take their time? Yeah. Manchester want to get some quick points on this board. As Shelton under the basket, not able to get it to go.
But you see, playing the basketball tough and not fouling. And on the other end, oh, wow.
And great defense there from Zach Irving, able to knock the ball away.
You could argue it was an absolute mugging by Zach Irving. LaQuincy Rideau is hammered into the stanchion and nothing given.
So in Manchester possession, we can see there, I think he put his hand in the right place just to knock the ball.
You do? Okay.
Under 3 minutes to play in the fourth. Johnson has Cameron on him. Johnson out to Smith Jr. Adesukasi inside, doesn't get it to fall. Shelton with the rebound. And is that a technical foul? Technical foul is called. That'll give Cheshire one shot. That will be against Duke Shelton for Manchester.
Yeah, I'm not sure who the technical foul is called on.
It's on Shelton.
Yeah, it is on Shelton, but it looked like at first Ben Thomas jumped up, then Duke Shelton jumped up. I guess he's louder than Ben Thomas.
So Pat Robinson checks in for Rideau. Frankie Policelli will be taking the technical free throw.
Yeah, emotions boiling over there from Duke Shelton, and referee Unsworth at this end is a cool customer. He's seen all these before, and he's let it ride for a full game, and he just overstepped that line. But he's a fair referee.
So 11 points for Policelli. We'll go back to where we were before the technical was called, and it'll be Cheshire possession. And Cheshire hitting the century point here in the fourth quarter. 2:29 to play. Robinson gets the ball over the halfway line. Robinson goes inside, too strong, but ball's tipped to Brenchley, and Brenchley can't get it to go. But again, it's those offensive rebounds that Cheshire have been able to get so many of today. Johnson. Hands off to Irving under the basket.
Nice pass by Jordan Johnson, the layup by Zach Irving. It's a little bit too late, but can they cut the ball game to 20? Tobias Cameron piles on more pain as he dishes the ball to Policelli. I thought that one was down, Kaz.
And Cameron laying an easy two for Cheshire. Cameron up to 17 points. And Cheshire just extending the lead, and a reaching foul will put Cheshire over the limit. So Manchester will go to the line.
Adesukasi coming out of the ball game. Looks like he hurt his left hand. He's been struggling for a while. He's played well for Manchester today. 21 points, he'll sit down. And so there are your chance again of MVP for Mr. Patrick Robinson.
And we'll see Kyle Carey check in for Manchester.
It'd be difficult to argue a case against Pat Robinson being the MVP. Second in scoring, 20 points per game. 10th in assists, 4.5. He has 166 total points. You know,
and that shows the consistency. That shows the range as well, the scoring, the facilitation.
Yeah, I mean, I could go on, Kaz. 2-point percentage, 60.8, first in the league. Free throws made, 150 in the regular season. Stellar season.
It really has been. And a really well-deserved all-league team award for him. As the ball goes over into the crowd. So,
yeah, well, these Manchester fans have been treated to some really good games here tonight. It wasn't their finest hour. They will have their work cut out for them going into Cheshire on Sunday, but these players have responded well at home, and any task that's been thrown at them or any challenge they've met, but they're potentially facing their toughest one going away on Sunday.
Yeah, and Cheshire always, it's a really tough place to play, isn't it? Teams say when they go there, you've got that really loud support, And Cheshire going to be very, very pleased to be heading into the second leg with such a large lead.
Yeah, and it's a tough place to go even if the game is tied. So even if this one would have been a tied game, or even if Manchester would have been up 3 and 4, it's a tough place to play. Being down this deficit is almost insurmountable. However, you could see it as a positive, a chance to perhaps make some history going into Cheshire. Who knows?
Hey, you never know what can happen, and we've seen crazier things happen. So 1:12 to play. Cheshire up 102 to 75 here in the fourth quarter. Tim Adesukasi leading all scorers with 21 points.
I mean, at the end of the season, Kaz, you're going to look back and you're going to on every team and you're going to say that was our greatest game of the season. So all Manchester have to do is have a miracle, great game of the season on Sunday. So if you can see it, it can be done. However, it's not going to be that easy because Cheshire, all they have to do is play one of their better games to win. You will have to catch Cheshire on a bad day, and Manchester will have to play out of their skin.
Manchester winning the first quarter 23 to 21, but then Cheshire winning the next 3, putting up 30 points in that third quarter. And holding Manchester to just 14. White into Cameron, and Cameron's fouled on the shot, so he'll go to the line.
The sound is from the crowd that we are Chester Jets. They still have a strong identity. Now the Cheshire Phoenix, and I cannot see him, but Mike Burton possibly will be in that crowd. If he's watching at home, he will really enjoy this because, you know, the identity of Cheshire basketball has been built over the years, none other than Mike Burton, you know, who started all this from a school in Ellesmere Port, you know, back in the day, and now they're sat here within the Super League and having another great season.
And it's the consistency, isn't it, that we see from Cheshire, from the franchise.
Yeah.
Coach Ben Thomas, he's just puts together such a strong team each season.
We're lucky as a commentary team because both of these coaches have been really, really gentlemanly-like whenever we've spoken to them. Whenever we've done pre-game interviews, they've had time to talk. They've been very, very true professionals. But Ben Thomas, you know, started coaching at 25 years old. He's now 35.
Oh, a huge block from Diggins.
In his 10th year at Cheshire. And he's just kept this team rolling.
Ball goes out of bounds, but Michael Diggins at the other end, nearly bouncing out of the gym. Johnson will take it inside, shot rolls out. And Cheshire are not giving up an inch here in the fourth quarter. You can see Coach Thomas on the sideline.
Yeah, they're playing till the final whistle. I think that's part of their identity as well.
So Johnson back to the free throw line. 7 points and 9 assists today for Johnson, and he's been a real highlight player this season.
He's been great. So have the other Manchester players, and we're talking like it's the end of the season. There's another game to go. So they can leave it all out there on Sunday when they go to Cheshire, but a stop and a score at the other end will add some misery to Manchester's depressing evening.
Johnson goes 2 of 2 from the line. Robinson. Cheshire looking to just increase this lead as much as they can. White, Cameron. Cameron spins, blocked by Oseboyan. Ball goes out of bounds.
Yeah, ball goes out off Oseboyan, and with 13.2 remaining, a timeout is called by Ben Thomas, and a wise timeout in a regular game. That will be looked up as disrespectful, but we are going into half-time, and he's trying to extend this lead. There is a discrepancy in shot clock and game clock, 5.2 seconds. is the difference. So Manchester will get a chance to possibly get the final heave.
Yeah, 8 seconds when Cheshire come out of the timeout. So Coach Ben Thomas will draw something up here. And the last home game of the season for Manchester, we've seen some great support in the crowd this season. Manchester still only in their 2nd season as a franchise. Both the men's and women's teams making it to the cup final this year.
Yeah, they have. And I mean, you say it's the last game of the season at home. It's that point, Kaz, where both me and you come to the final hurdle. And are you going to be okay without me for a short while?
I'll try and manage. I'll try and manage. You might just have to phone me up and and throw some puns.
But I mean, the last home game of the season, and both Pete Simmons and Dominic Allen have really progressed this team well. You know, we've been treated to some excellent basketball. It's only
we certainly
early
have.
years of identity as Manchester basketball, and haven't they done a good job?
They've done a fantastic job. So ball's in for Cheshire. 5 seconds on the clock. White against Ossaboyan. White steps back, long 2, gets it to go. And Cheshire just increasing the lead as Irvin with time running down. And 2 free throws to come for Zach Irvin. And it will be Zach Irvin at the foul line for Manchester. 1.7 seconds on the clock. So Irvin with the chance to cut into this lead.
Well, good timeout by Ben Thomas. Skylar White got the shot that he wanted and nailed it, and Zach Irvin misses the free throw. So advantage Cheshire in that sequence of events. We can see the body language. Matthew Watton on the bench is down in the dumps. The highs and lows of being a coach.
As Irvin will get the second and a long pass in. It's taken by Irvin, but that will do it. So after the first leg, 106-78, the Cheshire Phoenix leading Manchester as they will head back to Cheshire on Sunday at 5:30 for the second leg, and a place in the final at the O2 Arena on the line. But Cheshire are going to be very, very pleased with that performance today, Jason.
Yeah, 28 points to the good going into their own backyard will be a luxury that only they could have dreamed of. I'm not sure that they would have expected this, but the third quarter was all Cheshire Phoenix. They absolutely blew a storm here in Manchester.
And a huge game from Tobias Cameron, 19 points leading the way for Cheshire. We spoke about it before, but he came out with such intent in that first quarter. 9 points to start with.
I honestly can't believe that he only had 19 points. He was phenomenal in that first half, but then he came up with every big play down the stretch. But, you know, 15, 15, 15, 19, 11, 11. You have got 7 players.
That is huge. 7 players in double figures for Cheshire.
Amazing.
And just a really impressive all-round team performance for the Phoenix. 106-78. And for Manchester leading the way, it was Tim Adetukasi, 21 points for Adetukasi. Also, Manchester with 5 players in double figures today. And you can see there some very happy Cheshire fans in the crowd. And the three-point shooting, Manchester hitting 9 to Cheshire's 7. And the free throws, Manchester 65% of the line to Cheshire's 86.
You could argue that Manchester didn't play awful. They were just met by an absolutely emphatic display by Cheshire Phoenix. That is potentially one of the best all-round performances we've seen all year from a team.
50 rebounds to Manchester's 39, and Cheshire really able to capitalise on those second chance points, just crashing the boards, and that has put them in a really good position going into Sunday's game. And Tim Adatukasi leading the way for Manchester. There's 21 points. And Manchester, obviously, with some work to do. That's a really tough scoreline for them to take into the second leg. But as we said, you've got to just take it possession and have a game plan going into that.
You do. You have to keep fighting. I mean, that's been what you've done all season. Why would you stop it now? You have to leave everything on the floor that has been your identity. And who knows? If you can get 15 points up at half-time, you may have a sense that you can pull this one off. But I have a feeling that Cheshire will want to inflict more pain and not even lose at home on Sunday. But tune in for that one. It's going to be a good one too.
It certainly is. And then the other semi-final, London and Leicester, that'll also be on Sunday at the Copper Box. And that'll be tipping off at 4 o'clock. Both of those games live on DAZN. As the road to the O2 Arena later in May, both teams, well, all four teams trying to make it to the playoff final at the O2 later this month. You can grab your tickets now. Go to Super League Basketball M or superleaguebasketballw.co.uk. And we can see there Leicester and London. London taking an 89-70 lead into Sunday's second game. And then after today, it will be 106-78 for Cheshire over Manchester. And you can get your tickets for the final at the O2 Arena. The 17th of May, the men's final, the women's final. Always an absolutely fantastic day of basketball at the O2 Arena. So grab your tickets now. You don't want to miss it. It will be either London or Leicester, and Manchester or Cheshire taking each other on. So the final score from here in Manchester, 106 to Cheshire. Manchester basketball, 78. From myself, Caroline Bullock, and from Jason Swain, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you soon.
Super League Basketball is levelling up British hoops. This isn't just a league, it's a movement you can feel and see in the stands. From the first tip to the final buzzer, the story is written. Every drive, every shot, and every moment. Rivalries run deeper, games hit harder. One pass, one dunk, everything can shift. Legacies aren't given here, they're earned. New stories are ready, and new champions are coming. Season 2 is here. Stand tall for British basketball.